Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, welcome to a brand new year, a brand new season, but nothing really new with Task and I. It's the Crypto Maniacs podcast. On the glorious Hive blockchain, we're streaming for your viewing pleasure. I'm using pleasure in bunny ear quotes here on Vim. Back on Vim. We're also on YouTube and Twitter, the Twitter sphere. Crypto Twitter Task. Are you part of Crypto Twitter?
Fuck no.
So you mean to tell me you're actually using Web3 instead of talking about it?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm using Web3. I'm building Web3 databases, and I'm not supporting Elon, not his Twitter X venture. I support him in his Tesla venture, but I got stopped there. The other shit I don't care about. I mean, it's not that I don't care, but it's like, I mean, if Twitter gets 1 billion users or Twitter goes down to 100 million users, it doesn't affect me in the least. So,
yeah. Like we were mentioning, this is the beginning of season 4, man. This is going to be 4 years.
3 years.
The 4th year. Was that 3?
It's 3 years in March, but
3 years in March. But
yeah, John Go and his math skills. But yes, we kind of, to explain it. And I'll explain it because it's fresh since it was just explained to me. So here's John Go's math.
Thank you.
We had season 1, which started in March of 2021. And season 2, for whatever reason, kicked off in January 2022. Season 3 kicked off in January 2023. And season 4 is kicking off in January 2024. This is John Go math. So we are not yet to the 3-year point, but we are in season 4. So just think of this as Netflix season 1 was just condensed episodes.
The teaser.
And then we expanded the line. Yeah, it was the teaser. Well, and as we were talking before the show, the first 4, 6, 8 weeks, something like that, we only did 1 show a week. So there are a lot less episodes in season 1 than season 2 and season 3. So,
yeah. How was your New Year's?
It was okay. I mean, I got a lot done. I was building databases and the fireworks were going off. So obviously the idea of going to sleep anytime reasonable was off the charts because, Jackass is the next block over, figured at 1:30 in the morning is a good time to keep setting off fireworks.
We had, we live about probably 2 miles from town. And they had a little shindig. I guess they were firing off the fireworks. It wasn't midnight or anything. But fun fact: when you live in the country, what happens when fireworks goes off is it wakes up all the coyotes. So all the coyotes were howling till 4 a.m. And of course, my dog's losing her mind because she's hearing the coyotes howling. We got dogs barking everywhere. It was great. It was fantastic. It was definitely a memorable.
Yeah, but at least you got your Ethernet connection from Elon.
I do. I spent my $35 to get I'm hardwired now, so technically this should be better. Hardwired into direct. I don't even go to the modem, man. I go right to the satellite. We are beaming into space right now. Elon and me are one with Starlink. It wasn't bad. I mean, $35 and I get to get hardwired. I mean, you'd think that they would have put an Ethernet cable into the modem that they ship, but they don't. Because they want it to be wireless. The modem that they ship is awful. So I actually have a modem and a router that I hooked up, and now my house actually has proper wireless because the one that Elon ships is awful. Anyways, I'm not going to get into my rants about Starlink. The fact that people can get the hardware now that I paid up almost $1,000 for. They can get it for $399. I'm not bitter at all.
Well, don't you understand technology? The price is
I know early adopters pay the most, and then the rest of the world gets on. I know.
And they get shitty service too, and then the service improves and the prices come down. And
I love it.
That's how you get mainstream adoption.
It's the best.
Except for Apple, they still charge $650 for their fucking phones, but it's Apple.
Oh yeah, dude. It's funny when they do the odd like Black Friday deal. It's literally like $25 off, and people lose their mind. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Anyways. We won't get into Why do I pick all these companies? I'm so like, I'm not even loyal to them. It's just the products I use constantly, and I get no benefit at all from any of
Yeah,
them.
but what do you think? It's going to be a much better experience going to Google or going to,
No, yeah, you're right.
Samsung, or going to your local cable operator? I mean, I can tell you right now, Spectrum, which is Time Warner, they pretty much. I mean, they're not bad, but for
Yeah.
the money you pay, the service kind of sucks, and it's like car insurance. It's like anybody who defends their car insurance company. It's like, why? They're all scumbags. I
Oh,
mean,
I know. Yeah. I'm loyal to this company. No, they're all crooks. Anyways.
yeah, they're the insurance company. They're going to fight you on every claim, and they keep jacking your rates. That's where your loyalty gets you.
That's great.
Oh.
I love it. So before we get into everyone's questions, I have a little bit of a not a rant. It's more of a way to go, John. Go. I like I take my post down. I write down my ideas for what I'm going to blog about, what I'm going to write about, what I'm going to do. Even more so now, working with Leo here. On a part-time basis, I have plans for what I want to do each and every week. So I planned this blog post last night, dude. It was like the best work I think I've ever done in the past year. I was so proud of it. I was so happy. Thank goodness. And this is what I wanted to start the show off with. The announcement of the Evergreen rewards is going to go forward, because I hope and I pray and I'm looking forward to seeing how this blog post is done, written on in Leo, in a year from now, 2 years from now. Will it draw the attention I think it's going to down the road? And, we saw the announcement. This opens a whole new world, man. Like the long form content, the Evergreen rewards on the
What
post.
announcement are you referring to? The Evergreen in general, or
Evergreen in general?
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Gotcha.
Evergreen in general. So, to me, this is what's really excited about 2024. Starting this year off with this post that I'm uber proud about. I even did little graphics for it and everything. I put some work into this task. I felt like you there, actually putting in the work, not just I'm going to type some things. Crazy, man. I'm so excited because I'm not looking. 7-day rewards are great, but what's it going to be like in a year from now with this? Thoughts on Evergreen?
Well, yeah. I mean, this is what people need to understand. The Hive database is really pretty much shit. And the reason why it's pretty much shit is, and I've gone through this. I don't know if I've gone through it in the air. I've done videos about it. I've written about it. But you're right. When people think about 7 days, it's a much different mindset. And when you're dealing with information, there's really two types of information. The first is time sensitive, which could have value in the moment. And the news, a sports score, that's time sensitive information. The score of the Buffalo Bills game, from 2 years ago, let alone Sunday, probably doesn't mean very much right now. Now, the score of the Buffalo Bills game 10 minutes after the game ended, that had some meaning. So, and it's like the news, and it's like these, you look at a database for a news company, their database is garbage, because it's like, who really cares what the hell they said leading up to the 2020 election? Who cares? It's irrelevant at this point. So, but you need that data, you need that information, because people want that time sensitive information. So, the fact that Bitcoin went up $1,000 in the last hour, or the fact that the spot ETF went live, or the fact that Joe Biden fell, or the fact that Donald Trump said something stupid, that's important in the moment. But, the ETF going live, when that's announced and when it happens, 3 days later, it's like, doesn't mean anything. So that's number one. Number two, and this was my concept with Leo Glossary, is you need that, we'll use the term stickiness. You need the information that's sticky. And this is actually, believe it or not, with threads, even though they're not eligible for Evergreen as of yet. But the idea behind music on Leo, because music, even if you heard a song 1,000 times and the thing's 45 years old, you'll still listen to it 1,001st time. I mean, you won't stop listening to it.
Right.
Movies, okay, you may not sit and watch a movie 80 times, but then again, I mean, Draft Day, you watch Draft Day every single year, even though that movie's 10 years old, and you've seen it probably who knows how many times, at least 9 times, maybe even more. That has stickiness. And that's why when you look at a movie studio, or you look at a broadcast network with their television shows, The Office, Sons of Anarchy, Game of Thrones, these things have incredible value in the marketplace because I Love Lucy. They're stuff that people return to and watch over and over again. And so when you're starting to talk about a post, when you're starting to talk about information, I don't give a shit how good that blog post is, Django. That blog post is always going to require, that article is always going to require new people. It's like Kevin Kelly's, some of his that get incredible viewership. The problem is most of us are not going to go back and read a 2010 Kevin Kelly article for the 5th time. You read it once, maybe if it's long and in depth and has some things, you'll go back a second or third time, but you're not going to keep going back over and over. So he has to keep generating more new traffic on this older stuff, which search engines and crap like that help with. But, you know, how many times have you gone to the same Wikipedia page because, or Investopedia page, or the same, you look up the same term in the dictionary because you forget, because you know, and that's really where we need to focus, in my opinion, is that stuff that has stickiness, but also has the repeatability where people keep coming back over and over and over again. And, you know, you may listen to the same song, Django, if you really like the song, once every couple of weeks,
Right.
once a month. So you'll listen to that song, let's say 12 times throughout a year. You're not going to go and read an article 12 times throughout the year. You're not going to probably go watch a movie 12 times throughout a year. So there's degrees to what we will go to. And to me, that's the key, is you want to get as much of that stuff that gets that repeat traffic, especially repeat traffic from the individuals. And this is what Spotify's figured out. This is what YouTube's figured out. This is what, to a degree, you know, Netflix has figured out. You know, how many times have some people seen their favorite episodes of The Office? I mean, people watch it, or Breaking Bad. People go watch that. I mean, I was a big Blacklist fan. I've probably seen the first season of Blacklist 15 times. You know, it's just, these are things when there's nothing on. I'll go watch the pilot for, you know, MASH, or I'll go watch a pilot for, you know, The Office or whatever. And you do that. You know, the Draft Days, Alien. If Alien's on, you'll watch that. It's a Wonderful Life. How many times have we all seen that in our lives, or pieces of it? It's just, this is the difference between, you know, what we focus on with Hive. Not only I want to get the rewards over the next 7 days, but most of the content. You look at most of the content under the Taskmaster accounts, it has no value. I mean, even if it was something with a little bit of stickiness, it's like, things change. It's like, you know, I can talk about Hive all I want in 2020, and it may be applicable. It may be some decent Web3 stuff, but even if it's Web3 stuff, that's changed. So anything I wrote about, if I wrote about DeFi in 2020 is out the window. That's pretty much worthless, you know. So this is where we really have to focus our attention, is keep working up that scale. And you're right. The first step is get out of the 7-day mindset of how much I'm going to get with rewards and how much will this generate over the next year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years. But then thinking about that, saying, okay, and this is why when I liked tokenized cocktails, Bradley Arrow with his Newfoundland stuff, you start writing that type of stuff, it's just as applicable 5 years from now as today. You know, and statistics, you know, Wayne Gretzky's stats, how long's the guy been retired? But his stats are just applicable today as, you know, 3 days after he retired, if you care about hockey and you care about that type of stuff.
Hockey. Oh, I agree, man. I you know, just what you said is right. I mean, the things that you keep going back to, it's rarely articles. You know,
Yeah.
it is the book reviews, it's the music you like, it's the recipes, it's it's the things that you that are sticky, like you said. So
Recipes,
that's a big nugget
hotels,
for content creators. Make your stuff as sticky
geography,
as possible. So, do you want to
history.
dive
I
into
mean,
people's questions?
we can go on and on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall we dive in? We had a very nice turnout from the good folks in Leo, and of course
I think
can't find.
I think they like this time a little better. It helps.
Yeah, This is a good time. This is a good time, and God willing, I stick on this time. My mission in 2024 is to make a living off this stuff, man. So, because the trucking expeditions didn't go very well last year. But we're on to 2024. Let's get into the questions. So Task is there letting us know that we want to get the Threadcast going, and it's the first show of 2024. A new era in Cryptomaniacs. Yeah, brand new. We have so many new things we're going to talk about. No, we're not, folks. Let's be real. It's going to be Hive, Leo, Web3, that kind of thing. Revolutionary.
Yeah, the only change is, how frequent are the rants? Are they getting further spaced out, closer together?
Yes.
That's about the only uncertainty.
Do you like my wife's decoration? Have you noticed the backdrop? It's a fake plant now. No, for everyone listening on the podcast format, there's no longer a whiteboard behind me. It's now a dog barking and fake plants. So there's that. Tokenized wants to know what's the plans for the show in 2024. Anything new? Next question. When's the next town hall meeting taking place?
I responded to that. I don't know. Django is the one who tells me where I got to be and when. So I don't know. Have they announced it? I haven't.
We were planning on doing it this week, but I think everyone is kind of still in holiday mode. So I would assume we'll get with Nifty and Eric this week, but it'll probably be next week. I'm assuming, but we'll let everyone know when we plan to stir it up again with town hall streams. Ed, tokenized. Here we go. Now we're getting into some juicy stuff. He wants to know, because it's kind of Boomer Tunes, Lisa, and tokenized. Boomer Tunes wanted to know, what is this VSC everyone is talking about? And then tokenized wants to know, are we planning on running a VSC node?
We already are. We're on the testnet. We be in town hall. I mean, there's already. I mean, we already paid for it. I say paid for it. It's a monthly subscription, a monthly fee, but Nifty's already programmed it. It's good to go. I don't know if the testnet's actually in operation yet, but we have a node, so we're covered. And VSC, we could do three episodes on that. Ms. Boomer Tunes, but the big thing is it's a side chain that's going to bring the first thing. Bitcoin swapping, Bitcoin wrapped to the Hive ecosystem. So you'll be able to move your Hive to Bitcoin and your Bitcoin to Hive. It's a wrap version, but then you can go back to then transferring your Hive over, or your Bitcoin over Lightning or over mainnet, whatever you want to do. And, it's a smart contract platform. It's going to bring Hive to the level, at least in development capability, as to what the EVMs offer with smart contracts and the ability to set up exchanges and, all different types of things like that.
Yeah, and it's interesting that we're talking about VSC, because Lisa actually follows that up. Is there any way to convert fiat into Hive without going through Coinbase to get LTC and then depositing to swap LTC and then selling it?
I misread. She talked about block trades, and I thought it was, and I mentioned the swapping site that we talked about last week. Mm-hmm. But no, you can't go from fiat through that, because that's just like block trades where you have to send crypto in to get crypto out. I don't know where Lisa is, but basically in the United States and in Canada too, you have, and I think it's almost everywhere, to get into from fiat to crypto, you have to go through a centralized exchange.
Yeah.
Nobody else is authorized to handle the fiat. That
Well,
I know.
even with block trades, like when I used to dump, I would have to go to Coinbase,
Yeah.
link my bank account and say I want to buy $100 worth of Litecoin, and then send the Litecoin to
Yeah.
block trades, and block trades would do the flipping.
Yeah, but because block trades was crypto in, crypto out. They didn't handle fiat.
Yeah, there's
and
no fiat.
nobody does. You got to have a money transfer license or whatever they call it.
Well, inside of Peak D, they got Transact, right? I mean, I think you can buy Hive with your credit card there. I think. I'm not totally sure. Can you?
That may be the case, but I wouldn't know how that works. But
I've never used it. Yeah. I mean, this is another thing. I do enjoy the kind of little ecosystem that we got here, because for me, now I'm not getting money into crypto. I'm in crypto, if that makes any sense. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like if I need to get in and out of crypto, it's usually I'm getting out of crypto, sending it to the bank account, paying bills with stuff that I flip for LTC or whatnot. But I'm in crypto, so I'm not trying to get more fiat into crypto. But that took 6 years, right? But when I got started, that's how I used to do it. I used to go to Coinbase, buy my Litecoin, send it to block trades, it'd flip it for Hive, and then I was in the ecosystem. And then I could do it whatever. Once it's in Hive, it's a beautiful world, right?
and what VSC will do is you can go to Coinbase, buy Bitcoin, send it to you send it to VSC and flip the Bitcoin for Hive. And then, you can do whatever you want once you get the Hive. So, and the reverse is also true. You can take your Hive and then get your BTC and then go wherever you want. So these are important steps in 2024 for us to have our tentacles bridged to the outer world.
Yep. Oh, you didn't stick the embed code in the Threadcast, did you?
Yeah, I did. Hit refresh. I don't know. Did it? I did it. Did it work?
Just because Brando wants to know if there's a link for the show, and you can't put links in Threads right now. So
why can't you?
I don't know. I tried to do it, and it said I can't. I wasn't allowed.
Just put the link in there. You're not in a top line thread. Yeah, it's not showing up, but I did it. Well, I'm getting a refresh. I did put the link in there. I did. Let me double check. I put it in though.
Yeah. Well, we'll blame Canada. Yeah. See, it said it's a top link, and so I responded to him, but it didn't show up. It like muted it. It's weird. Yeah. Anyways, figure it out. When porn glossary. That's Task. Task. This is a family show. This is a family show.
Let me try this again. I put. Did I grab the wrong thing?
Well, yeah, it's okay. We're having fun. It's first show of the year, guys. Got to have some fun to start up the year, right?
All right. I got the embed code. The embed code's in there. Maybe I just fucked up and grabbed the link.
That's okay.
So give it a few minutes to try to refresh and catch up.
Yeah. Beautiful. Ask Me Smith wants to know, please do cover the process of running a Hive Witness node. If you have any technical strong person in touch, even mentioning that person on Hive would also help. Everything goes through Nifty. Task and I are complete buffoons when it comes to the technical side of things. Last week we had Eliana on the show. Me and Eliana, there she is. Speak of the devil. She's here, and we've tapped out. We're sick of the Hive Engine issues. Hive Engine is nothing but a painful, let's say, and we've tapped out. We've tapped out.
Cal found that out. Did you see his thread?
Oh yeah, no, it's great. It's wonderful. It's amazing. And as a witness,
I guess the solution is they have to set up a Hive Engine node to send out the payouts because they're being throttled on Hive Engine too.
Yeah, it's insanity. It's absolute insanity. We decided to tap out. we're powering everything down, obviously, for worker bee and stuff like that. We've had enough. I mean, it's VSC, please come quickly. So Esme Smith, the person to talk to when it comes to Hive nodes, well, we would say Nifty, because Nifty's awesome. And
Nifty Manu Photos runs his for the Hive Cuba. Simple Game, I don't think he runs a node, but I guarantee a Simple Game probably knows about that. There's a few people running around who do know the technical stuff. Eddie Spino probably can put you in touch with whoever runs it for what's theirs. Aliento, I think, is their node, their witness server. So there's a bunch around. McFarhat runs ActiFit. He's.
Yeah. Just quick here. I just saw one alpha said 3 hours and 37 minutes before proof of keys starts. Will you cover this for your audience? I'm completely ignorant. I'm an idiot.
Well, proof of keys is moving your Bitcoin, primarily your Bitcoin, but I guess it applies to every token, off the exchange to see that if they have enough.
I like it.
In my opinion, you're a horse's ass for keeping anything more than a nominal amount of any crypto on, an exchange, a centralized exchange, because
good point. There you go.
Why would you do that? That's introducing counterparty risk. But
I like it. Let's make them a little uncomfortable, guys. Nothing bad will happen. Crypto's so fun to me. It's such a smorgasbord of drama and FUD and FOMO and rinse and repeat. Like people were like yesterday's like, oh, Bitcoin's up to 45,000 again. I'm just like, do people really they literally they sit around and they look at the price of this stuff all the time. This is what kills me.
And see, it's like, step back and it's like, oh, it's up to 45,000. It's wonderful. It's like, you do realize it's still down 21,000 from its peak. That's still down like 33%, you morons. It's like, are you selling?
What has changed? What has changed with Bitcoin?
Who gives a shit? Are you selling? No, then shut the hell up. Who cares if it's 40,000 or 60,000? If you're not selling or if you're not buying, who cares? What's the difference in the price?
Buy the dip, Taz.
People ask me the price of Tesla. I'm like, I don't fucking know. Well, why not? You talk about it every day. I don't look at the price. I'm not selling it. I can't sell it. It's in a retirement account. I'm not accessing it for another, at least 6 years till I can touch the damn thing without penalties. So what do I care? If it's $100, $400, I'm not selling. So, it's like, what's the price of Hive? Who cares? I'm not selling. I mean, if you are one who's selling, then you're concerned what the price is. Or if you're one who's buying, then you are concerned about the price. Well, what's the price of Leo? I don't give a shit. Django really doesn't give a shit. He buys everything no matter what the price is. So what's the difference? He buys, 100 each day.
100 a day.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is the problem, that you have the green candle people, and it's like, Simple Game like that. He said, can I take that? I'm like, it's on a block. He goes, I'm going to steal that. I'm like, it's on a blockchain. You can't steal. It's public information. But it's like, that's a cancer in this industry. And I've said all along, if the internet was on a mark-to-market basis when they were developing it, and every time the price went down 2 ticks, the people coding, it's like, oh, this is broken, this project, this TCP IP is going to be nothing. Look at the price. It's just moronic. Just build. It's like, okay, if you're a trader and you're playing your charts, fine, do that. If you're selling and you're like, okay, this ABC coin has had a huge run, I'm going to take some profit, fine. Money management, all good stuff. Risk management, good stuff. But if you're a buy and hodl, who cares? Doesn't matter.
You know what's so funny? We're talking about this, and I remember this is what. So when I first joined the blockchain, December 2017, I'm scanning what's being talked about, and every post back then was crypto. Like every single thing was crypto this, crypto that. So me being a complete idiot trying to fit in with the cool kids, I started blogging about crypto. Now I have about much knowledge about crypto as a toad. Task, my content creation on what you should do with your portfolios lasted about 3 blog posts. Then I was like, forget it. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. And what's the problem with the green candle people is everyone all of a sudden is an expert trader because they read a blog post or they saw someone tweet about something, you know? And we saw that in bull runs all the time. There was the YouTube idiots that were with the whiteboard going, oh, you should buy this. Why should you buy it? Oh, because it went to the moon. It's like, shut up. Just stop. Stop. Buy it, hold it, use it.
This is why, trading, 95% of people try trading blow up their accounts. There are a few who can bank and make a lot of money who are very good. Very, very few people. And those few people, it's not even their trading skills. It's just their discipline that when it says buy, they buy. When their indicators say sell, they sell. And they don't talk themselves and try to outthink the market. That's probably the primary reason for their success. But, the rest of us, it's like we're going to nuke our accounts because we think we're so smart. And, of course, the more the bulls happen, the smarter we think we are because everybody's making money. And it's like till things reverse. And it's like, oh, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. Yeah, buy the dip may work for 7 out of 7 times. But that 8th time, you get that from 66 to 15,000 drop. And it's like, oops. So, it's like, but again, build, and understand what the hell it means to build a business, not build a brand, not to sit there trading, not to be a content creator, build a freaking business. And that's really what we started the show with is, what are you doing here? What are you putting into this database that has any value whatsoever over the long term?
It's fun. Keep it on with the comments. We kind of got sidetracked on a rant. See, folks, 2024 starting off with a few rants. A laughable rant, though, so it's always good. Do you think we should have an account on Hive that would just do the swaps? Like, say I sent one HBD to swap account in a memo and asked them to swap, say, BTC with an address. Do you think we have developers that could build the tools such as that?
Yeah, they could do that, but why would you have a honeypot like that? You don't want one of anything.
Right.
I mean, that goes against the entire premise of decentralization and resiliency. It's one. I mean, hell, look at the proposal. It wasn't really a proposal, but the what would you call it, Django? The idea that Vaultec brought to the core development team and saying, let's move the multi-sig from 40 up to 2,000. Why? Yeah. 40 should be enough. No, we want decentralization. You don't want billions of dollars in just a handful of accounts. So no, you want thousands of accounts offering that swap service if you can.
Yeah. Captain Task, please do talk about the Amazon and upcoming risks due to that company too. I would love to listen to you two on that topic.
Well, I don't know if there's really a risk per se, and I'm presuming that this is related to my article this morning and not really talking about the price and the future stock price outlook or earnings outlook because I don't follow it close enough to have any idea about that. But it basically, what I said is Web3 needs to take the Amazon model, and Amazon has so many entities that it's purchased and owns and is integrating and leveraging. And so I don't know if it's exactly a risk other than the fact that it's one of the networks. There's maybe a dozen networks that control the entire internet. You got the Facebook family, you got Twitter, you got PayPal, you got Amazon, you have, a handful of others, the Chinese counterparts, obviously. And so what you have is you have a situation where you get into the Amazon ecosystem. If you are an Amazon person and you like the services, you like it, what they do is they keep giving you more and more and more. And they usually do it under the Prime subscription. So when you start looking and you say, okay, Amazon bought MGM. I don't know if most people realize that. I didn't realize it until I started researching it. That deal went down in 2021. I mean, it took time for the approval, and they may still be waiting on parts of it, but it's pretty much done. They own MGM Studios, one of the largest and oldest movie studios in the world. They own IMDb. They own, there's another site, a Box Office Mojo. They own Amazon Studios. They own Amazon Prime Video. Now, just in the entertainment multimedia world, they own, I think it's Goodreads or it's one of those other ones. They have a podcast application they own. They have all kinds of things that they own in this, entertainment media realm. Just as an example. Then you go on to Amazon Web Services, and there's, a crap load of companies there that do a crap load of stuff that, most of us who aren't technical wouldn't understand, but that's catering to the corporate entities and their customers there. So what you have is you have a situation where, much like Apple, much like Facebook, we see it with these large language models, Google, they're starting to take over more and more and more. And Amazon's just another player. They're getting, NFL contracts. They're getting Major League Baseball contracts. And these entities, Amazon, at least as an entity now, is competing against, ESPN, against TNT, against the broadcast networks. They're also competing against Time Warner and whatnots out there. So what we have is we have a situation where we have to decentralize this stuff. And this is the point of Leo Glossary. This is the point of Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb on the blockchain. This is the point of music on Leo. This is the point of, cocktails on Leo. This is the point of recipes on Leo. Get some of this stuff away from them, even if it's in a very rudimentary form. At least that data is out of the hands of Amazon. It can be used by anybody, and we're starting to break that stranglehold a little bit. And that's really what, it's not just Amazon. Amazon just seems to be very good at it and go into a variety of areas that I think Web3 is talking about going into, as opposed to Google, who's also equally as effective at spreading out their tentacles. But Google, from what I've seen, they're not really bidding on sports contracts. They're not really doing movies or television shows. They don't have a movie studio that I know of. So they deal in a different arena. They're certainly into cloud. They're certainly into AI. They're certainly into language models and machine learning models and DeepMind and all this other stuff. And this is where I think we have to draw a line in the sand in saying, as Web3, as Hive, as individuals who believe in the tenets and values associated with Web3, I'm going to start doing, and this goes back to with what we started, Django. I'm going to start putting up data. I'm going to start putting stuff up that breaks this stranglehold. And, it's not about, we need better quality content. No, bullshit. Bullshit. You can write the best articles in the world. Who cares? If we're using Web 2 for our news, if we're using Web 2 for our historic information, if we're using Web 2 for our stock feeds or our crypto feeds, if we're using Web 2 for all this data, if you have to go to Web 2 to find Wayne Gretzky stats, this is a problem. Wikipedia is a problem. IMDb is a problem. How do you know these reviews are not manipulated? That's the issue. If you have to go and depend on YouTube for your social video, that's a problem. If you have to depend on Elon and X for the news, that's a problem. These are problems that, find a problem and solve it. These are, I just listed 10 different problems, and they could all be solved with Hive, and you don't need any technical expertise. That is up to the users to start posting stuff like that and capture that type of stuff. And hopefully, Leo AI and maybe some of the AI that Peak D is working on. And, obviously we know there's a hindrance with search, but don't wait for search to start getting the data. They'll find it sooner or later. Just put it up there, tag it. And, as the search mechanisms get better, then, things will improve. But in the meantime, just start linking. I use linking for Leo Glossary, use tags on Leo, in Leo, start doing that stuff because, tags are always searchable. And that's really where it starts. And I don't know. I mean, I'm an island to myself on this. I don't hear anybody else talking about it. But to me, the idea that we are going to create Web3 by depending on Web2 data is just preposterous to me. It's like, did Web2 depend on broadcast media for their data? No. Well, we need to get Web2 users over. Did Web2 go and get broadcast influencers and have them come over, or did they develop their own? They developed their own. So, I think the thinking's all backwards. And, unfortunately, in my opinion, I got 6 years of results to back me up. What all that other shit ain't working. So that's why I say the Hive database is shit. We need to fill with pertinent stuff, not only that time-sensitive stuff, but also that stickiness stuff, whatever that might be. Even if that's just listing the capital of New York is Albany, so that gets fed into, at some point gets fed into Leo AI or whatever AI we end up seeing.
Albany, fun place. Following up kind of sort of on this, John Tim says, will threads ever get evergreen, or is that unfeasible for some technical reasons, like going through the billions of threads and checking for views is impractical versus fewer blogs?
No. I mean, just think about that, John. With compute, it's billions is not a problem. Cal mentioned it a couple weeks ago on the AMAs that they may add it at some point, and I think it's a good thing. And this comes back again to my music on Leo premise. If you do a lot of threads, what views are you going to get? You might get 5-10 views. If we get a lot of people, you get a lot of views. But again, if you put a video, okay, maybe that gets some views, but start thinking about this now. What is the stickiness of your thread? What labeling or tagging are you using in your thread that when this does come, because the time to start this is not when, hey, we got Evergreen on threads. No, the time to start it is now. I don't know when it'll happen. I don't know if it'll happen, but take your thread and add value to it, whatever that is, so that maybe when that does show up, you could have a thread that could get 150 views. There's no technical reason why it can't happen. Technology's there. I think it's really a situation where Cal probably thought about this. And he says there's no point in Evergreen on threads because he was thinking the same thing as Django was talking about when he started the show. Let's look at the Kevin Kelly articles that get 1 million views over the course of 20 years. But I think he changed his mind probably when Elon started with the paying of threads or paying of tweets or X's or whatever the hell they call them. I think that's where he said, well, why don't we? I mean, we have thread counters. I mean, there's a counter on the threads. So I think that's when he probably started changing his thinking. And this is where I said with music on Leo and some of these other things, it's like, do something to make a thread that has value over time that people will go to. And a song, again, is something that'll people go to. A motivational video. I did Django. I've done a couple different things as a test run. I got probably 20 Johnny Carson from the Tonight Show clips, YouTube clips embedded on a page. And so there are 20 threads with Johnny Carson clips. Johnny Carson's been dead for, 15, 18 years or something. He's been off the air for 30. But these clips are still hilarious and people watch them. And I did a whole bunch of motivational things, some of the motivational YouTube videos you get out there. These are things that people go back to time and time again. So my suggestion is, no, not every thread do you do this. Do you do your good morning threads? Do you joke around? Do you do stuff like that? I mean, jokes on Leo. There's something, put a joke up, use the tag jokes on Leo, maybe that gets some traction down the road. And all of a sudden, people are looking for jokes or pass around jokes, and we have that content here.
Right.
It's something simple. It doesn't have to be every thread you do, but once in a while, put up something that you sit there and say, "Hey, this is important. This is pertinent information that could have some stickiness." And also post the latest news. Post what happened in the Ranger game, or post what happened at the Super Bowl, or post your politics, or what the weather's like, or whatever. That's important stuff. The such and such leader at Hamas was blown to bits this morning. Post that. Post the headline. Get that stuff on there.
John Tibbs, am I the only one who thinks that the threshold of replies for when a premium user's thread cache shows up on the top should be lowered? Showing up top helps attract engagement in the early going, which should be the goal for in Leo. Help engagement. What is it, 15 now? Is it?
Yeah, no, I disagree with that, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to get a bunch of people ultimately who start being bozos and just putting up, anything they want just so they get their thread up there and crap like that. And they'll throw up a thread cache, they'll use the thread cache, and then they'll put a link to their blog underneath or something stupid like that. So it's good to have a minimal threshold, I think. And it's also, if you have a thread cache, that's where you build your following, and you let people know, hey, my threadcast is up. You rethread it on behalf of other people if you support them. So if you see it up there, and the Crypto Maniacs, I mean, right now the latest feed is so slow it doesn't really matter. But if that gets faster and you see it, well, rethread that, get it out there so more people can see it. And 15 isn't that big a deal, especially if you just start commenting back and forth. I mean, it's not a big conversation.
It's pretty achievable. And I think this goes back to where, like, I'm going to echo what you said about treating this like a business. And part of content creation, and I know you said, to me, this blurs the lines, because if you are doing content creation in a business mindset, you're treating it as a business. You're planning your week. You're knowing, like I'm doing this thing, Leo Live, tomorrow. I mentioned this yesterday. I'm going to talk about it today. I'm going to get more and more people knowing that every Wednesday I'm going to go live, and I'm going to go over basically how to use Leo effectively as a content creator. And I'm going to go through all the features, and I'm going to just, Eliana and Lisa will laugh because they'll know of the old streaming shows I used to do in my business. I used to show up 4:00 Eastern each and every day of the week. I'd show up, and all I did was sit there and help people grow. I know the first time I do this, I might get 1 or 2 people show up. But you know what? The next week, I'm going to do it again. And this is treating it like a business. You have to stick with a schedule, and you stick with it, and you plan it, and you talk to people about it. You engage with people. More people will know about it. And then it's going to grow. It will catch traction. And that's how you build content as a content creator. That's how you build your reputation online, is by showing up and sticking to things.
Can I jump in and take a different approach? Because, and I agree with you with what you just said at the end. To me, that's not building a business. To me, that's building a brand. And I'll give you an example. And basically what you're saying is Django is a brand, which I would agree with. So is Taskmaster. So is anybody who's engaging in this. Mm-hmm. You're a brand. The best example of a brand was Tucker Carlson. And there's a lot of others. But Tucker Carlson was a brand. Tucker Carlson was also a slave because he was a brand. He was not a business. He was a brand. He got a paycheck. Okay, it was a big paycheck, but he got a paycheck from different broadcast companies. He had to show up, and he had to keep, as Django says, dancing on camera. And he'd show up every day at the same time, and he'd go on the air every day at the same time. and he built his brand, but he was not a business. He did not have a business. He had a brand. When I say build a business, what Tucker Carlson's moving into now is not brand, because he's building a production business. He's building a media business.
Would if you have had that without a personal brand?
Well, yeah, sure, you can do that. You can build a business without a brand.
No, but like as a content creator, can you build a business out of it without building your personal brand first?
Yes, you can build the business first. You can build the production studio. You can build, I mean, there's a lot of tools out there now, but you know, what people are doing is they're on the TikToks, they're on the YouTubes, they're on whatever, and they're building their brand, but it's really not a business. And you take somebody who says, I'm going to build a media empire, I'm going to build a media company, and they start the practice of building a business. Now, what does that entail? Well, that's open, you know, that can go in 1,000 different directions. You know, people who are new to business or new to an industry come in with zero reputation and build very successful businesses. So the idea that, you know, you have to be a brand, and what I'm saying about Tucker Carlson is in 10 years, if he was just a brand, he'd have to still get on camera 10 years from now and put out content to make any money. Depending on how he structures things, and he may be his only on-air talent, I don't know. Or he may be like Patrick Bet, whatever the hell that guy's name is, who started Valuetainment. Yes, he is on one of the main podcasts that they do, but they also have like 8 or 10 other podcasts of talent. So that company, that business is not dependent so much on him. So 5 or 10 years from now, he may not be on camera anymore. He may not be the one engaging in these podcasts, or he may, if that's what he wants to do. The point being is he's building a business that have other people involved. And I think there's a clear distinction. Yes, you can come to Hive, you can come to Leo, you can use the tools that are here doing Web3, versus the Web 2 brand building, which Django and I both seem to be in agreement on. And you can help grow your stake. You can grow your brand. And if these platforms take off, you obviously are going to have a lot of money. But if Django or I tried to tokenize ourselves, what will we be tokenized? We'd be tokenizing our brand, and we would have to keep showing up each and every day, keep doing new content each and every day to keep the money flowing in. And we wouldn't really expand. It's again, going back to that starting over again.
Have you ever read Robert Kiyosaki? Like Rich Dad, Poor Dad and stuff?
I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and, you know, Robert Kiyosaki. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is good stuff, good basic fundamental stuff, but he's a clown.
Well, that's what he talks about. He talks about turning yourself, if it's either you're an investor or you're a business or you're an employee. And if you're showing up every day, still putting in the work, you're not an investor. You're an employee. The cash flow quadrant, I think that's what he calls it. Total, I can't remember. You know, it's been 20 years since I read his books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another one. In fact, I put this video up. It's one of those AI generate. Actually, I don't think it's AI, but it's the mafia boss guy on Russian mafia boss guy on YouTube. And he's like this motivational guy, but, you know, he's supposedly, yeah, I mean, it's not true, but he's supposedly a Russian mafia dude, and he gives advice. And one of the things he said, which is absolutely correct, he said, don't work on making money, work on making business. Business gives you more money. More money does not give you business. And that's exactly, I mean, it's the same premise. It's understanding that if you build a business, the money will come. And if you are showing up and dependent upon having to generate the money each and every day, it's not an investment, it's not a business, it's a job. It's a job. And that's essentially, you know, that's why I said Tucker Carlson made, I don't know how many millions of dollars a year from the different broadcast companies he worked for. But at the end of the day, he was a slave. He was an employee. he traded his time for money. Okay, he traded his time for a hell of a lot of money, but it was still the same premise. And when he was booted out the door, okay, he had a contract, so I don't know if they paid him or not, but now he's going in a different direction. And this is what the tools allow us to do. So this is why I think there's a distinction when I say we need to build businesses. That's the distinction. It's not just build a brand. I mean, a brand is wonderful, but you still have to keep showing up. And that's not going to change the platform if we have 1,000 people with brands on here. We need 1,000 different businesses, and that can go in a multitude of directions. You can build a media empire, you can build an information empire, you can build a music empire, you can build, a gaming empire, you can build whatever it is you're into, and then deviate off that, and then to get into the commerce, get into the finance, get into the different aspects of that.
Wrapping up here, a couple more questions before we take off for the evening. John Timms wants to know, is this the year the Bills wins the Super Bowl? I would just like a Chris Berman Super Bowl, so Niners Bills would be great. Just one before I die. That's all I'm looking for. Do we have a link for show? We did that. Duty touched on that. There's one more here that I saw that I wanted to ask you about. Atma Love wants to know, do you have any thoughts to share regarding on-chain reputation?
I don't know if on-chain reputation is much different than reputation anywhere. It's earned. I mean, reputation is basically derived from, reputation is the opinion of others based upon your actions. And a lot of times reputation is not accurate, but a lot of times it is. And we can only control what we control. And so, the reputation, just think about this in your own circle. Think about people, whether they're acquaintances or colleagues or coworkers or friends or whatever. There's always that person who's just a total pain in the ass. No matter what you're doing, okay, we decided we're going to this restaurant, that person's going to complain about it. Or that person's, I'm allergic to that type of food, or it's too loud, or that coworker who's bitching about everything. And they get this reputation. Then you get other people who have a reputation. Oh, he's happy-go-lucky. He's easy. He goes with the flow. The person who doesn't complain, it's like, yeah, whatever you want to do, I don't care. And he or she can seem to enjoy him or herself in whatever you do. And so, I think on-chain reputation, we do have the advantage or the disadvantage of having usernames tied to us. So, Django and I have a reputation on Hive. How that reputation is, I don't know if I can speak as to that and how others view us. I don't pay attention to it. I don't worry much about it because I can't control it. But I do know that part of that reputation is we're dedicated, we're consistent, we put forth effort, we do activity. So, how does that equate to how people on Hive view us? It's probably, for many people, very favorable. Now, there's each of us, and maybe and in combination, we have our detractors. We have people who don't like us. We have people who, think what they do about us and think everybody be better off if we drop dead. But, it's like I put stuff on the blockchain. I mean, is that a reputation? I don't know if that's a reputation, but you can't question my dedication to this place. You can't question Django's reputation in this place. Where if anything else, we're not wishy-washy about this when it comes to Hive. Other people, what do they have? I mean, just think about when you see somebody's username. What is it that comes to your mind when you see their username? What is it when you see a thread, when you see a post, when you see them commenting? What comes to mind? It's like, oh, well, this person's a bitcher and complainer because every thread they're bitching and complaining, or every post is bitching and complaining, and the whales are thieves and the whales don't care. And, They're just negative Nellies, and it's pretty evident. Then you get other people who's like, what do you think of the name they call me Dan? What do you think of with Starkers? What do you think of Eddie Spino? What do you think of with Nifty? What do you think of with Cal? I mean, you just keep throwing out names. What do you think of Block Trades or Howu, Arcane? These people have a reputation in between our ears. We have a viewpoint of them. And many of them, we've never met them. A lot of these people, you don't know who they are in person. Maybe you haven't seen, you don't know what their voice sounds like, but you see their online reputation. So I would say it's very important. You want to really take effort to cultivate your reputation. And you need to present yourself in a manner that aligns with how you want to be seen, I would say. And, do you want to be seen as somebody who's dedicated to Hive or to a Leo? Do you want to be seen as somebody who is putting forth all the effort? Do you want to be seen as somebody who's engaging? Do you want to be seen as somebody who is a clown? Do you want to be seen as somebody who's serious? How do you want to be perceived? Do you want people to see you as somebody who is not real dependable? They show up here once in a while, then they leave. Do you want to be seen as somebody who makes a statement and never follows through? And of course, this applies to all of life. I mean, this is, in our relationships, in our careers, in our work. Are you a person where the boss says, I can always count on Django? Or is Django a person where the boss says, I can't give Django any responsibility because he never follows through. He always has excuses. He doesn't get the job done. He calls in sick twice a week, whatever the case may be. And in the digital world, since this is all we have to go on is your username and what we see on chain. Now, if you're somebody who does spaces, if you're somebody who does videos like Django and I do with a show, okay, that's another layer that's adding or detracting from, it's added to your reputation. The question is, does it align with what you're trying to put out there? Does it align with your personality? I am not very delicate at times. I'm not very diplomatic. I'm rough around the edges. I'm very frank. I'm very forthright. My videos that I do are not technically advanced, technologically advanced. They're not full of graphics and all kinds of stuff inserted. That's my videos. My videos are for the message. Other people, they do wonderful graphics and wonderful videography and cinematography and all that stuff. And that's what they're known for. And there's nothing wrong with that. And they're not better than me and I'm not better than them. It's just a difference. And so you have people create these wonderful videos or these wonderful infographics that they insert or these wonderful graphics and images that they insert. That's their forte. So again, it's find your niche and fill it in the way you want people to perceive. And it starts with a level of expertise. You'll notice I don't talk about geography, Django. You notice I don't talk about technical stuff. You notice I don't talk about space. You notice I don't talk about England. You notice I don't talk a lot about cars or history. I don't know a lot about this stuff. That's not my area of expertise. So I don't go in there and pretend I know something that I don't. It's like, no, man, I got no clue. But if you're into one of those areas, have at it. Become the expert. It was like Brian of London. He became the lightning expert of Hive because he got in there, he started messing around with it. And he was the guy above Block Trades and other developers on Hive who knew about lightning. And he was the guy to go to. And when people talk, if Brian talked about lightning, people listened. We all have areas like that. I don't care where it is. And put that stuff on chain. So if your knowledge is the Buffalo Bills, the history of the Buffalo Bills, Thurman Thomas, Jim Kelly, Marv Levy, all these people, all the way back to OJ, put it on chain. Get it out there. That's information that other people have an interest in. I can't tell you about the Buffalo Bills with any degree of knowledge. So, these are all things that people say, well, I don't know much. Everybody knows about something. And if you know about the EPL, put it up there, get it out there, become a person to go to on that particular subject, and let your personality flow through. And as more people come in, and this is going into the branding thing, now all of a sudden you're part of that community when the community forms around you, because, hey man, don't ask me about the EPL, go to this person. Oh, Buffalo Bills, talk to Django. He knows all about them. You like them, you and Django will get along great. So I think that's really where people need to focus. And again, that business mindset of, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do here, but let me at least think about this a little bit more than just posting some stuff on here.
There you go. That's it, man. 2024, first episode. I'm going to go and watch Free Chain, which is the documentary on Hive. Lord Butterfly produced this thing this last year, and he's trying to get it into some film festivals and stuff. It is out there. I know, I'm not sure exactly. I can't remember what it is. Well, it's on Vimeo, because there's got a paywall or something up for it. But check out Lord Butterfly. I'm sure he blogged about it as well. He put it on Twitter, and Nifty shared it on Threads. And I will give you guys my review of it on Thursday. There you go. Free Chain. Looking forward to this one.
Write it up. Get it on chain. I mean, it's Free Chain is, if it's a movie that's out there, it's not going to go away.
Yep. Love it. Guys, thank you very much for hanging out with us. Lots of great comments on Threads. Of course, on Vim, there was Tokenized. Tokenized was on Vim. Appreciate you, man. And thank you guys for hanging out with us. We will see you on Thursday for, I don't even know, episode, I think 280 will be on Thursday. So keep showing up, folks. Keep showing up. Toodles.
Ciao.